Right now, Wisconsin is moving ahead with implementation of a key component of the federal health care reform plan. Last year, Governor Jim Doyle announced he would not run for re-election, so Wisconsin will have a new governor in 2011. Despite this inevitable transition, the lack of direction from the federal government, polls indicating a majority of voters favor repealing the law, and no requirement that the state set up their insurance exchange until 2014, Wisconsin is moving ahead. The recently passed Federal Health Care Reform Act requires states to set up insurance exchanges for those who do not have employer-sponsored insurance coverage. The exchanges are not required until 2014, but the state of Wisconsin is already moving forward on implementation. This despite the fact the federal government still needs to make many decisions about the details of the law.
There's also a tremendous amount of rulemaking that's going to be coming, guidance from CMS, the basic benefit package, what is included in that. There's some general descriptions of it, but that's a huge responsibility HHS has to really define that.
At a University of Wisconsin symposium held at the state capitol, I asked a national expert why Wisconsin should get a jump start on its exchange.
What's the advantage to setting up these state exchanges now when there are so many uncertainties from the federal law?
That's a very good question, and I think there's considerable merit to beginning to consider these issues, informing yourself on them, and before making final decisions on some of these issues, waiting until you see what the rules are. However, it seems to me the basic decision points of who and how many and whether small employer and individual be separate, those things, I don't think that those things are going to be any clearer in terms of the decision points once those federal rules are known.
Governor Doyle has already created the Office of Healthcare Reform, but administration officials say he has not committed any resources to it other than a website and some hours from existing staff.
We have a procurement in the field to try to set the state up well to begin the process of actually designing the exchange and have a vendor in place by September who is prepared to begin that process. We think it's actually going to take a couple of years to fully implement.
With such a small office and the legislature not being in session, there's only so much the Doyle administration says it can do during the last 7 months of its term.
But that said, lots of decisions to be made by the next administration, by the next legislature. There will definitely be things that will require changes in state law, which will have to go through that process.
For the MacIver Institute, I'm Bill Osmolsky.